The United Nations says it's in contact with Russian authorities after Russia suspended its participation in the UN-brokered grain export deal with Ukraine. Now, the move comes after drone attacks in Crimea. Moscow blames Kyiv for those attacks. The deal struck in July allowed resumption of grain exports from Ukrainian Black Sea ports. The goal was to ease a global food crisis sparked by the war. The UN says today it's vital the exports continue. Russia claims the grain has been going to EU nations instead of the poorest countries in the world. And Russia's defense ministry is alleging British Navy personnel blew up the Nord Stream gas pipeline last month. It alleges the British Navy blew up the Nord Stream 1 and the Nord Stream 2 gas pipelines in the Baltic Sea on September 26. Moscow isn't providing any evidence for its claim that a leading NATO member was involved. The British Defense Ministry denies it. It says Russia is peddling false claims of an epic scale to detract from Russian military failures in Ukraine. And joining me now is retired Major General David Fraser, CTV military analyst and former commander of NATO forces in southern Afghanistan. Thank you for joining us.
Good to be with you.
So Ukrainian military officials say Russian troops are moving large numbers of sick and wounded from hospitals in southern Ukraine's Kherson region and stripping the facilities of medical equipment. What's your thoughts on this move?
Well, I mean, the Russians are getting ready for a big fight, and, Kherson is going to be the site of this fight, and we've seen a lot of civilians pulled out. We're now seeing anything that they can use for the forthcoming battle for their own troops, and stripping anything that they might be able to use elsewhere. It's typical in the Russian arsenal how to do things, and this just kind of sets us up to what's about to happen in the days and weeks ahead.
So that kind of goes into my next question. What kind of tactic is this that they're using?
Well, I mean, the Russians have been, consistent from the very beginning, disinformation, terrorizing the civilians, taking away anything that they can, using the civilians as the targets themselves, going after the infrastructure, like what, 40% of the utilities around Kyiv are now, not working and whatnot. This is what the Russians do. They just try to divert people's attention away from the fighting, but at the same time try to put as much pressure and demands on the people so that they will put pressure on their own government to do something and to resolve this. But the Russians are just absolute bullies.
Now, here at home, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced that there are 35 more Russian sanctions. What do you make of this, and is this enough?
I had a lot more expectation on the impact of these sanctions, months ago. We saw 200 companies leave Russia. You saw Mercedes-Benz this past week leave Russia. But the sanctions that the governments are putting on now are more symbolic than they are actually effective. Sanctions, by and large, take decades to actually take impact. And what's happening in the meantime is Russia's finding ways to get around these sanctions and people getting around these sanctions. So they're little more than, our disfavor of what Russia is doing. But the impact is limited these days.
Now, how will we see these sanctions change, and with everything that's happening in Ukraine, where do we really see the impact in Russia with the sanctions?
Well, I think what the private sector companies are already doing is probably going to have actually more impact. If we wanted to make sure that the SWIFT accounts are closed off to the Russians, the Russian people are going to see their quality of life change, and I think this is going to be indirectly a pressure onto the Russian government of, we're not getting information on what's going on in the war in Ukraine. We're not seeing a lot of our husbands and our fathers and brothers disappear and they don't come back home. We see this this mass mobilization happening, and it's not going well. So I think the Russian people will start adding all this up and start asking questions of their own Russian leadership as time goes on, which puts more pressure on Putin.
Now, lastly, Ukraine handed over 50 Russian prisoners of war after talks. What's your thoughts on this particular move?
Well, I think it's really important that the dialogue between these two countries remains open, including we've got the Secretary of Defense talking with his counterpart, and that prisoner exchanges, civilian exchanges should happen all the time, because these are important gestures that saying that as long as the dialogue is open and we see these things happening, it creates at least a pathway for future discussions and we're going to need that one day when they talk about a ceasefire, peace agreement, or the end of this war.